done with basically the site design, I will highly recommend that you go for all the other elements that you can, site components that you basically can load from the family, the site components, and try to populate the site in order to get a sense of the site design and site modeling. And then when you're done with that piece, what you want to do is that basically generate some sort of a good quality rendering out of what we are doing. So first of all, we have to create some sort of a good perspective, exterior perspective. So we have to set the camera. So we're going to go for the camera and start placing our camera in different places. And basically we are not bound to that location of the camera. We can just adjust this view, put it up, down. So that's basically my placement of the camera. If it is the right location for the camera, I mentioned that in the previous session, that you can see here, this is the position of the camera. 1'6" is not the right place. Basically maybe 5 foot, it's going to be the place that everyone will stand and have the camera. And then maybe you want to go a little bit higher than that, so 7 or maybe 10 feet for the where you look at the camera. That's going to be good. Then you adjust the whole thing, and then when you are kind of satisfied with the placement of the camera and then where you are looking at, what you have to do is that you have to start adding the location, adding the shadow, and then start doing a couple of renderings and finalize that render. So in order to add the location and the sun settings, what we have to do is that basically we have to go to this turning on the shadow, and you can see the shadow is basically wherever it's just from one side, and let's see, let me just go to the 3D view. I will show you in the 3D view that basically, for example, in this 3D view, if I go here to this corner and look at this perspective from this side, if I turn the shadow, just turn this one to a hidden so you can doesn't take too much RAM in order to look at the drawing. So if I go zoom in on this drawing on this side and then turn on the shadow, you see the shadow is from this side. If I switch it to the other side, that basically switch the shadow. So it doesn't make sense, because wherever I go, the shadow is kind of switching from one side to the other, which basically that's not the exact. So you have to have like sun orientation. There would be one side to be south, one side to be north, and there have to be some consistent shadowing pattern. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go here and start clicking on here, and then start setting our sun settings. So we're going to do the same thing that we did the other time. We're going to go and first we're going to find the single day or like a multiple day. We're going to go with the single day, and then we're going to go still. Let's go to the still. We're going to just one moment at the time, and we're going to specify the location. Right now I specified that for Boston. If it is not for you at Boston, you can change that one to Boston location. You can specify the date, you can specify the time, and then when you are done, you're placing apply and okay. So now see, that's the shadow setting for 4 o'clock p.m. at April 19. So that basically the sun setting for that. If I want to change that one to, for example, something a little bit less than like a 2 p.m., something that is not going to be that crazy shadow, so I can change that one as well. So now if I move from one side to the other, you notice that the shadow orientation is not changing depending on my view. So you have to make sure that you turn this setting on and make sure that it's adjusted. Otherwise, it's going to be some sort of a haphazard format of the shading and the sun pattern.